Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining Sonar 101 this Tuesday afternoon. Um, we're going to kind of go over the navigation and high level view of Sonar, how to operate um, the platform, and please feel free to ask any questions as we go through this. I'm going to go through all the widgets and how to navigate. We have Sonar 101 every Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern Time. If you want to dig into the data and learn more from our market experts, we have a Sonar 201 every Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern Time. And on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, it's with one of our market experts digging deep into what they know the best. Um, I am going to get started today. If you guys have any specific questions or would like to learn how to use Sonar in your day to day operations in your specific company, please reach out to your sales rep, your customer success rep, email sonarsupport@freightwaves.com. We will set up a personalized demo. We'd be happy to chat with you. So if you guys are wanting to do that, please don't hesitate. See here. All right. When you very first log into Sonar, you are going to be directed to the global pages in the top left hand corner. The global pages are updated by FreightWaves employees, so you cannot change, update, manipulate, add anything to these pages. These are strictly only for you to view. What you can do is you can copy the global pages down to your My Pages and you can edit them there. So if you see something on the global pages that you want to keep and you want to make sure that we don't change it for you, all you do is click on Edit Pages, click on the page that you want to make sure you always have because these do change from time to time. Click the copy function and it will say this page is successfully copied and it will show in your My Pages. As you can see right here, copy of dashboard, and it is the exact same view as you were viewing in the global pages. So now I can add, change, manipulate this any way that I want to view it, customize it, and it will always save. So if I ever log in and this dashboard up here is changed, this one will always be saved for you to view. The next thing that is great about Sonar is you can customize your own pages to fit your organization. So down here where it says My Pages, this is where you should stay very organized, whether it's around a specific market, whether it's around a specific customer, a data set that you want to view. It's very simple. All you click is Edit Pages, and then the blue plus sign that says Add Page will pop up. And this is where you name the page. So like I said, we have people that name it around specific markets, regions, customer bases, kind of whatever works for you. I'm going to do Sonar 101, and I'm going to click Add. And this will take me to my plain gray screen. These pages are available for you to share with other Sonar users. So if you are building out a page that is, say, for the Atlanta market and you have other people on your team that you want to view that data as well, it's very simple. All you do is click on this share function to the left-hand side, and then a link will appear. When you copy this link and share it with other Sonar users, all they have to do is click on that link. It will direct them to Sonar and save it as a copy of Sonar 101 page. So anything that you name it, anything that's on the page, it will automatically share with any other user. Before I get into these specific how to build these pages, I'm going to talk about a couple of our features in the top right-hand corner. Our first one is the moderated chat function. So the moderated chat function is a great way to have if you have a quick question, if you are not sure what's going on in the market, if you want to know how to navigate, where to find certain data sets, this is a great way to do so. You automatically come in anonymous. You can go to your profile up here and change it to a specific name or a picture if you wish. But any number is a customer. So it could be somebody in your organization or somebody outside of your organization. And then FreightWaves employees have their name with the underscore in the middle. So you can see, this is me, Jessica Hale. I don't know if I said that at the beginning, actually. I am Jessica Hale and the customer success one of the customer success managers over here for Sonar. But that is me. As you can see, we have market expert Donnie Gilbert up here responding as well. So you'll get feedback from market experts, myself, customer success, sometimes the data team, sometimes Craig Fuller, our CEO. So comment away. Feel free to drop anything that you need in any of these channels here. The next one is Sonar Sue. Sonar Sue will pop up if there is an announcement. So if there is new data, new features, if something big is happening, if we have a webinar, anything along those lines, they will be able for you to view in Sonar Sue, and they save so you can go back and look at other announcements as well. The next tab is the light bulb, and that is the market insight and research feature. So this houses our anything from our daily watch to our research papers. Our daily watch is published every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And basically what happens is our market experts dig into the data that matters to them, and they will write a brief little snippet of what's going on in a specific market, what that means for you, how to go about using this information in your day-to-day based off of all Sonar charts. So you'll see all Sonar charts here for you to view. And this comes out every day, but it's also housed in Sonar. You can download this, print it out, send it to others in your organization as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about our research paper. Our research papers, we have a whole team dedicated to create these, about 3 different individuals. They do carrier surveys, shipper surveys. They do all different types of research that you get free with your Sonar subscription. These are anywhere between like 20 and 60 pages in depth around a specific topic for you to view. So this one is talking about freight matching apps by market share. This was just updated a couple weeks ago. You can see all the different charts that are available in here. It's just great research that's proprietary to us that you can't get anywhere else. So this is a great page to learn more about any specific topics that we have here. The next one is our My Sonar tools. My Custom Indices is where you can upload your specific company's tendered data, add it into Sonar, and use Sonar to see how your tender volumes, your tender rejections match up to ours, and just being able to compare them on a chart. The My Map Layer function is where you can upload your customer locations onto a map and overlay other data sets like volumes, rejections, fuel pricing, anything along those lines underneath it. And you can see exactly what happens in each market that your customer location lies within. So it's really easy to do, and I'll walk you through that a little bit more when we get to the map widget. The next one is our Freight Futures tab. And if you guys have specific questions around that, reach out to us, sonarsupport@freightwaves.com. We'll get you guys connected to Tom Mallon. He's our Freight Future guru. So any questions you have about that, please reach out to us. The next one is our Knowledge Center. Our Knowledge Center is great for you to see all that there is available in the platform. So getting started is pretty simple. It's how to add a page, how to add a widget, pretty much what I'm going through to an extent right now, just on a high level. And Indices by Sonar category is the best way to view the data sets that we have housed in the platform. We have air data, maritime, we have stock price, all kinds of stuff in here that you can view. When you click on any of these, it will populate kind of like a definition, tell you what is it, what we offer, whether it's broken out by markets, regions, states, who's interested in this, and what does it tell me, because context behind the data is everything. You need to know what is happening or what the data means. If you don't understand what the data means, then you aren't going to get anything out of the data. So this is a great way to actually see like what these data sets are and what does it mean for you. that is all for our features up here. I am going to hop back down to our Sonar 101 page that I did create earlier. And like I said, when you create a page, it will automatically be a plain gray screen. And all you have to do is go up to the blue plus sign in the top right-hand corner. And this is where you can add all the different widgets that you want. We have the RSS news feeds, social media, calendar, our chart widget, watch lists, our map, video library, and our most volatile markets widget. I'm going to go through each one of these and show you how and what you can do with each widget. You can also add as many of these widgets onto a page as you would like. It also automatically saves. So if you add 3 widgets to this, you're done for the day and you go home. The next morning when you log in, it will be automatically saved. It's the very last thing that you do. There's no save button. If you X out of something, if you add something, and that is the last thing you do on that page, that is what will be saved. First one I'm going to go over is the RSS news feeds. You can go down here, click on any category that you want to view, click Save, and it will provide you with, you can turn on the scrolling mode as well, and it will provide you with a scrolling mode view of the RSS feed. So you can see all these articles here available for the topics that you selected. You can hover over any of them, and it stops, so you can view what the title is. Click in on it, and it will bring you to the page that, to the article that you want to view. We have a lot of people that use this on their screens in their office. It's great to keep your employees informed about what's going on in the market. So this is a great tool to use to do for that. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to hop down to social media flash content. Social media flash content is just that. It's off social media. You can sort by relevance, or you can sort by date. You can also type in a tagline here. You can do a specific hashtag. You can do a specific person that you want to view. Anything along those lines. You can view all of that here. Over here on the blue arrow on the left-hand side. And you can see all the different subjects that we have and all the different Twitter feeds. You can also click this settings button right here, turn on the scrolling mode, and you can view this data on the same scrolling mode that you can view the RSS newsfeed. If you hover over anything, it will pause it for you to be able to read it. Click on it, and it will take you to that specific tweet for you to view. The next one is the calendar. The calendar widget has holidays, FreightWaves news articles that you can view on a calendar form. It will update the FreightWaves articles for the specific day that they are posted. So if you want to go back from, if you're really busy today, didn't get to read any of the articles, tomorrow morning you can go back and look and see what was posted for today. Click on any of them, and you can bring up the FreightWaves article right here. I'm going to X out of this, and I'm going to hop down to the map first before going over the chart and the watch list. I'm going to do the map. The map originally is broken out by 135X markets. You can change this to states and regions as well, but it automatically defaults to markets. These are based off 3-digit zip codes that we've partnered with DAT to receive the map breakouts. So all of these little markets, there's 135 of them in the country. This first tab over here, these tabs are how you put the data on the map. The first one is the date. So you can click on it and go back in time and look at the historical data on the map as well. So you can click any date in the past and pull up data, and it will show the data for that specific day. You can also go to map layers and upload your own customer locations. So this is Pilot Flying J locations, but you can upload your own customers' locations, your warehouses, anything along those lines. You can upload them in here, and it will be color coordinated. You can zoom into any market and see where the location actually lies within the market. I'm going to go in, I'll show you how to do this in just a minute, but I'm just going to pull something up. Outbound tender volume. Shoot, sorry. Sorry, guys. Outbound tender volume. And you can see how you can view data underneath your locations and see where they lie and what is happening. So you can see that the Memphis market, we have all of these locations that are lying in the Memphis market, and they're a lightish blue. So there's a decent amount of outbound volume coming out of the Memphis market. And so you can use this for a couple different ways. You can use this for a selling aspect, go after customers in those markets to maybe get more freight, since there's more volume shipping out of that market. You can use it for maybe load board management, as a broker asset company, to understand, okay, these are the customer locations, or our shipper locations in this market that has a lot of volume. We need to get these covered first. You can use it in a lot of different ways, but this is a great way to customize the maps for you specifically. It's really easy. All you do is click on this blue pencil, and the blue pencil will actually take you to an Excel file that you upload that has the address, the name of the location, and you upload it, and it'll populate as an option and a color on the map layers. The next tab is the freight data tab. So this is the third tab. It looks like a truck. You can turn your freight data on or off right here. And these are all the granularity levels. So like I said, it automatically defaults to our X markets, but you can also view Canadian markets, PAD, US states, and US regions. So all you have to do is click on any of those, and it will change them. And then you have to go back down here and pick the specific data set you want to view. I like X markets. It's the most granular option that we currently have on the map, so that's why I like to look at that. You turn your Core Plus settings on to be able to display data and pull up any data set that you wish. You can type it in when you're familiar. You can scroll down and look at all the data sets we have available. And it will display on the map. You can change it as many times as you wish. It will automatically save for the next day. But the head haul index is a great one to kind of start out with. Donnie will cover this tomorrow in 201. But basically, this is a great way to view capacity in the market. So outbound volume minus inbound volume is what our head haul index is. So the darker the blue the markets, the more outbound volume is in that market relative to the amount of freight coming into that market. So it's a good view for you to view capacity. And like I said, you could overlay customer locations on this as well to see the markets that are dark red or the markets that are dark blue, and to make the best decision for your specific organization. The next tab is our volatility tab. I'll get into this a little bit more with our volatility widget, but basically this shows the high highs and the low lows within any given market that has volatility. So I'm going to look at the head haul volatility right here. And as you can see, if I click show legend, you can see a strong decrease is red all the way up to a strong increase is green. So those green markets have an increase in volatility, and the red markets are a decrease in volatility. So this is a great way to view and capitalize on those volatility movements within the market to maybe bring in some more freight, to make a little bit more money, whether it's talking to carriers, talking to shippers. It's a great tool for this. The next one is our rail data. You can view all of the rail lines as you can see over here on the left-hand side. You can click through the ones you don't want to view. You can zoom in. You can overlay other data sets as well underneath this, whether it's volumes, rejections, other rail data that we have available on the map. You can view all of that underneath the rail lines. The next one is the weather and traffic layer settings. So I clicked on the weather road condition here, and this will show if the roads are actually dry, if they're wet, if there's a possible closure, if they're snow covered. You can see in Denver right now, we have a lot of pinkish red. There's a lot of slush, a lot of snow going on in Denver. I'm going to zoom in, and you'll have more lines appear, so more roadways will appear. And in the top right-hand corner, you can actually play the road conditions out 48 hours. So you can see in the next 48 hours in Denver, we're going to have a lot of snow covered. We're going to have some wet roads. And then it looks like by afternoon tomorrow, they're a little bit more dry. So this is great to view when you have a storm pass by. The roadways are still going to be affected after the storm goes by. So this is a great way to see in the future what the roadways are going to look like. And like I said, you can zoom in pretty granular on this as well. The next one is our traffic layer. Our traffic layer will show low congestion all the way to severe congestion. And this is the same. You can zoom in to any market and it will show more roadways. So you can see a lot of the red is the severe congestion. I personally love to overlay road cameras onto the traffic map so you can actually see a snippet picture of the road. So we have 20,000 DOT road cameras that are updated every 10 minutes. Like I said, these are from DOT. So if they are updated on their side, we receive that update every 10 minutes. I use this all the time. In my previous job, I would go to all the different DOT websites to view this data to try to find out where my drivers were, where my shippers were, what the roads look like, so I could clearly communicate to my customer when and why we're being delayed. I would take screenshots of these pictures. This, you can find it all in one place. It is a great tool that I don't think that we talk about enough, in my opinion. We have these in all, or not all 50 states. So if DOT does not have them secured, then we're not able to display them. So I'm going to back out and just kind of show you. Most of it is the Texas market, Oklahoma, Arkansas, I believe. Some of those areas we do not have cameras. Like I said, they're not secured. We're not able to view them within the platform. The next thing I want to show you is you can click on any market and it will bring up the freight tray, as you can see here. So you see we clicked on the Salt Lake City market. You can see all of the indices related to Salt Lake City. So you can see the head haul, rail, tender market share, rejections, all the data sets available for Salt Lake City specifically, what category they lie in, what is their specific value, and what their ticker name is. You can also click through and only view specific indices. So if you only want to view the 5 most popular trucking indices for Salt Lake City, simple. There you go. We also have this location-specific data. So if I was to turn on forecast view right here, zoom in, and okay, I want to see what's going on in, where was I here? St. George, Utah down here. You can see if there's a location forecast button, and it actually shows you it's in St. George. So instead of understanding that, click on Salt Lake City, the market is very, very big. It could be raining at the mall 15 minutes from my house, and at my house, it's super sunny. So being able to be specific of where your driver is, where your driver's going to, what the weather is like, you can just zoom in, drop your little pin, and it will give you the longitude and latitude and what that city is. It'll tell you by timestamp the road condition, road temperature, and air temperature. You can also add wind gust, wind direction, and wind speed as well. And you can also view it on a chart level. So you can see road temperature, air temperature, road conditions, precipitation, and then wind gusts and wind speed as well. The very last thing that I'm going to touch on before we go to charts is the Critical Events Center. So the Critical Events Center is goes over all the different weather threats that we have. So you can see we track severe thunderstorms, earthquakes, wildfires, cyclones, all of that right here. We also track 5 different assets: the airports, canals, ports, railroads, and refineries. If anything happened to any of those asset groups, it will affect the transportation industry, whether it's immediate, whether it's a month or two down the road. It will affect the industry one way or another. So tracking those asset groups are really important. You can see all the green, orange, and red donuts over to the left-hand side. Those are assets. You can zoom into any part of the country, and it will give you more. The more you zoom in, you can also click on any of them, and it will display them in the market. So I'm going to hop over to Denver. Like I said, we had some storms. You can see the winter weather advisory, all the blues around here. Let's see what else we have here. So we have a couple refineries here. We have a railroad. We have Denver International Airport. If I want to click on that, it will bring up some more information. So it brings up our max risk is at a 17. So we track 1 to 25. So 17 is pretty much up there. It says that winter weather is possible. We have 16 hours remaining, and right now the conditions are light snow. You can see the risk down here. So we're at a 17 for quite some time, and then it drops back down to 8. You can see the temperature in the future. You can see the precipitation. You can see what the threats are, how many hours are remaining. This is a great tool to be able to view the weather and how it affects any of those asset groups. I did want to show you this little other part of this that I really like is viewing the hurricanes, cyclones. Viewing this data is really, really important to understand how it affects you in the transportation industry. So this is a very severe cyclone storm. So it has 0 assets in the cone. So if this asset was right over here toward the end, then it would say there is however many assets, 3 assets in the cone of the hurricane. So it tracks what assets are going to be affected by it. It tracks the wind speed, the longitude, latitude, and how it's moving. You can also view historical and forecasted models, which is really, really cool and good information. So you can see what time of day it is, what the wind speed is. This is just really great information. You can view all within the Sonar platform. If you guys have any specific questions, I can answer those for you. So please feel free to drop them in the Q&A tool. There's a lot of other things that we can do in here. You can view the day and night feature, which is one of my favorites. You can view precipitation all over. There's a lot of information in here. So if there's any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to help. The next thing, I'm going to go back up to the blue plus sign and click on the chart. So the chart, when you very first log in, it's just blank for you to kind of add whatever you wish. Over where it says enter symbol on the left-hand side is where you'll see all the different categories that we have available. We have our 5 most popular rail and trucking indices, and then all of the other categories below that. I'm going to click on 5 most popular trucking indices, and I'm going to look at outbound tender reject index. And you can click on the little plus signs, and it will show all the different granularities. So you can see rejections are on an X market, on a lane level, state, national region, regional lanes, and Canadian markets as well. I'm going to view this on the national level. So OTRI.USA. It's OTRI is the ticker and USA is the granularity. So you can see how we have the y-axis on the right-hand side, x-axis on the bottom. You can change the specific date period that you want. So you can look at the last month. You can look at the last year to see the data on a chart and the date points. You can also do customize, so you can click to view a specific timeline. So if you want to view October 1st through the 8th, for example, and apply, it will only show you those time periods that are specific to what you type in. Up at the top, we have display. So you can display this in different ways. So what you're currently looking at is the absolute value tool. So this will give you the absolute value of the indice that you're looking at. So in this case, we're looking at 5.35% projection rate in the United States. You can also view this on a relative and a dual axis. So to view the relative and the dual, you have to compare. So if I want to compare outbound rejections for the United States compared to outbound volumes for the United States, all I would do is go to compare. You could also scroll down to the categories. Just for time, I'm going to type in otbi.usa. And it will compare volumes to rejections. The thing about this is these are not measured the same. Outbound tender reject is measured as a percent. Outbound tender volume is an index. So for me to view this correctly, I need to click on either relative or dual. So if I click on relative, this will show me the percent change over the given period of time that I'm looking at. So in this case, I'm looking at the last year, and outbound tender volume is in green, and that is up 3% year over year. Outbound tender rejections is in blue, and that is down 57% year over year. If I want to look in the last month, you can click on the month and view that outbound tender rejection in blue is up 2.9% and 2.9%, and then outbound tender volumes are down 5.5%. So you can change the time period and view the relative view over whatever given period you want to view. We also have the dual y-axis. So the dual y-axis will give you the absolute values for each index, but on a dual y chart. So outbound tender rejections are on the right side, and the green outbound tender volumes are on the left side. We also have a seasonality function. Well, you can also, before I talk about seasonality, you can also switch these two indices if you would like outbound volume on the top instead of outbound rejection. All you have to do is click on set as main symbol, and it flips the two. Sometimes doing charts certain ways are easier for people to read, so that's why we have that function in there. But I'm now going to X out of this and just look at the one outbound tender volume. So looking on outbound tender volume, I'm going to go back up to display, and I'm going to look at our seasonality function. So seasonality will show year over year on any given index that you want to view. So you can see this year's outbound tender volume is blue, and then outbound tender volume index last year is in this orange color. So as you can see, the blue is higher than the orange. So year over year, we have more volume shipping in the United States this year than we did last year. So you can see the difference over the last year. This time last year, actually, this time last year, we were lower with volume. But earlier this year, you can see that there was more volume shipping than there was this year. So it's really good to view this on a seasonality chart to see volume trends, rejection trends, all of that. And you can view that under seasonality under the display function. The couple other things that we have different chart styles that you can view. What you are currently viewing is the mountain. You can also view the line chart or the baseline view, and you can drag your baseline. You can drag your baseline to wherever you want to view, and you'll see the green is above the baseline and red is below. We also have candles and bar charts as well. If you scroll down, you can view large fonts, which is great when you're sharing these with other people in the organization. You're doing a screenshot, posting on LinkedIn, sending out to your customers. The large font just makes it a little bit easier to read. You can also use the show units and y-axis so you can actually see what you're measuring. So outbound tender volume is an index. If I wish to change this to outbound tender rejections, it will show a percent. We also have themes that you can choose from. So if you, what you're currently looking at is night theme. This is day theme. And you can also create your own theme by clicking on new theme. And you can change all the different colors, the mountain color, the background grid, axis title, all that type of stuff, or axis text as well. You can name it and click save. We also have study functions. So if you click on the study function, you can see the moving averages, standard deviation, RSI, all those type of things right there. If you would like a little bit more of an explanation about this, please reach out to sonarsupport@freightwaves.com and we'll be happy to help you. We also have the events function where you can view FreightWaves news on the chart. So all these little dots here are the FreightWaves news events on any given chart that is tagged in the article. So the article has to say outbound tender reject index for United States for it to view on that chart. But this is great, gives context to the data. So if there's an article that's talking about OTRI while we're on the rise here, you can see capacity tightens as drivers reposition for the holiday home time. They had tagged outbound tender reject index into this article for you to view. So it will give you a little bit more idea of maybe why the data is doing what it's doing. In this case, rejections were going up because of the holiday and drivers were trying to reposition and go home. We also have the crosshair that you can use to kind of see what you are viewing, what data point you're viewing on any given day. We have the information bubble where you can scroll across and it gives the exact same idea with the specific data point and the value for each day. And then the last one we have is the tool function, the draw function. So if you click on draw, over here on the left-hand side, it will say select tool. And this is where you can do specific call outs, you can do trend lines to make the chart your own for if you're presenting it, if you're explaining to somebody. You can do a call out right here. Drag it out. You could put high rejection, or you could put Christmas. You can click save. You can also do trend lines to see from middle of September to now. Rejection. Oh, that's not good. Let's see here. There to there. You can see over the last 36 days, it's declined 10%. So from the last 36 days, rejections have gone down 10%. So you can really make this your own. You have it saved, so this will save for you. If you exit out and log back in. Okay. The last thing on this before I move on to the watch list is this little copy button in the top right-hand corner. You can click on copy and you can copy this specific widget on a current page or on a different page that you have so you do not have to build it again, especially if you have a lot of different call outs or if you have a lot of different compares on here. All you have to do is click create copy and it will copy the same thing on the page. Or you can click select other page and it will drop down all the list of your pages and you can click which one that you want to copy it to. see here. The next thing that we're going to go over is the watch list. So the watch list is viewable, or you manage it all the same. So you build it the exact same way. You click on Manage Symbols, and you have a browse function, which is very similar to the chart. You have a search function to where you can type in what you're looking for. And then you have an existing list. So the existing list are a couple of lists that we've already created for you to be able to view without having to build them yourself. I'm going to go to Browse and go to the 5 most popular trucking indices and look at Outbound Tender Reject Index. And I'm going to view all X markets and click Add Selected Items. When you click Add Selected Items, this will move over to this side on the right-hand side over here, and that means that it's ready to go to the watch list. All you do is click Done, and you will have to name it. And down here where it says Display Type are all the different watch lists you can view. So I'm going to go through each one real quick and just kind of show you what they look like. So it's all the same data, it's just viewable differently. So the first one is Standard Watch List. It is a black and gray list view where you have alphabetical order over here that you can sort by. You can sort by the value. So Bismarck, North Dakota is the highest value at 22% rejection rate. The change or the percent change. So Lubbock, Texas actually has the greatest percent change at 77% day over day increase in rejections. You can also add any additional 52-week high, low market share onto this chart as well, or onto this view. And you can also filter. So if you click the filter button, you can filter it by value. You can filter it by change or percent change. So if you want to view any outbound tender rejection X market that has a percent change greater than 10, and you click apply, it will filter it down to only the markets that have a 10% change or greater. You can also click on any one of these and it will create a chart. So you simply just click on it and it will spawn a chart. We go back to edit and show the heat map list. So the heat map list does the exact same function to a T as the standard watch list, except it's color coded. So green is showing an increase in percent change and the red is showing a decrease. So that is what the color means, but you can filter it the exact same way. You can add the same data. You can also click on any of them to spawn a chart. The next one is my favorite. It's the tree map. So the tree map is great to view you can view percent change in different time periods, and you can also view the colors to show if a market is increasing or decreasing. So it's kind of similar to the heat map list. It's just broken out to show the largest value on the top left-hand corner and the smallest value in the bottom right-hand corner. So the bottom number is the actual value. So Bismarck, North Dakota is the largest market at 22% rejection rate, but day over day, it's actually gone down 12%. So the top number is the percent change over the given time period. So we're looking at last value, and since this is a daily index, this is day over day. If you wanted to look over the last week, you can change that. And as you can see, Bismarck is still the highest at 22%, and week over week, it's only decreased 10%. But you can see Pendleton, Oregon is a 20% rejection rate, but week over week has increased by 88%. You can click on any of these and it will spawn a chart. So you can see week over week where you have that huge change from 11% to 20%. So that's the main difference with the tree map is you can change the percent change time period. You can also do the same filter. So if you want to look at percent changes greater than 10, you can do the same thing. And it will show you the markets that have a 10% or greater change. So those are growing markets when it comes to rejections. I'm going to go back to edit and, oh, I forgot to mention, you can also click on any of these to spawn a chart. I think I actually showed that. Yeah. I'm going to go back to edit and I'm going to show the scrolling ticker. So the scrolling ticker is great to have up on your screen in your TV office as well. It shows a scrolling view of what we just looked at on both of the list and the tree map. It's just scrolling with the market here, the value, and the percent change ticker. Also, we'll click on it and spawn a chart. You can also filter it the exact same way. You can change the percent change time period, and you can add or you can filter it or sort it based off of value change and percent change as well. So you can filter it, you can sort it, and you can change the percent time period. The next one is our market table. So the market table is great to view multiple different indices with multiple different markets. So for example, this one is just the rejections because this is what I currently had. But you could also put all volumes for markets. You could put the head haul. You could put wait time, all up here with all the markets below to kind of see multiple different data sets with multiple different markets all at the same time. The bottom number is the same. It's the value as of yesterday. And the top number is the percent change. Green means it's increasing. Red means it's decreasing. You can also change, like I said, the percent time period to show week over week. You can also filter it down to only show the values that have greater than 10%, less than 10%. You can also click and it will spawn a chart as well. The last view on the watch list is the gauge chart. The gauge chart shows a 52-week low and a 52-week high. So a 52-week low, a 52-week high, and then the current value in the middle. And the gauge will fill up as it gets closer to that 52-week high. You can also filter this the same and sort it the same as well. So you can sort it by the 52-week high or low mark or by the value and click on any of them to spawn a chart the exact same way. This is also probably one of my favorite ones. You can put this up on a as a scrolling ticker on your screen as well, because people can actually see, oh, this market is 22%, and then the 52-week high is 60%. The closer it gets to that 52-week high, the more rejections, obviously, there's going to be out of that market. It's a great view. We are done with the watch list. The next one is just the video library. This houses all of our instructional videos, our FreightWaves Now. It shows fuller speed ahead, different events that we've had in the past, and our speakers, fireside chats, demos. All of that is available within SONAR. And the last one is our most volatile markets widget. So the most volatile markets widget, you can kind of pick through the markets that you want. So if you do not want to view all, you can only select the Southeast region or the Northeast region or only the markets that you operate in. You can do that if you want. You can click all of them and only view markets that show volatility if you would like to view it that way. I'm going to view it that way. I'm going to click on Show Selected Markets with Volatility Only, and I'm going to click Save. And this will show me only the markets that have some sort of volatility. On the left-hand side are the markets, and then you can see the market share, outbound volume, outbound rejection, head haul, and tender lead time. So the bottom number on all of these is the value. So it's the value as of yesterday. So the outbound rejection index for Ontario was 5% yesterday. The percent change shows week over week percent change. So in the last week, Ontario, California has had almost a 3% increase in rejections. And the colored of the box, if it's green or red, shows volatility. So if there's no color on the box, that means there's no volatility. It doesn't go out of its normal. This is tracked over the last 365 days. So it will show those high highs and those low lows. So if you have a market in an index that has a green strong increase, that is out of the norm, out of the normal standard deviation of this specific index in that specific market. If it's red, it's the opposite. It's the low lows of that market. You can click on any of these and it will spawn a chart. So you can see Ontario here. We have a huge increase in the last week from 2% to 5%. This is the highest it's been. Let's see, in the last year. Nope, not in the last year. So year to date, it actually has been, I think. Almost there. So year to date, we're at about 6.5 and we're at 5.15. And it's kind of shot up over the last week. So that's why you're seeing that strong increase in volatility. You can click on Elizabeth, New Jersey and see a strong decrease in head haul. The head haul is, like I said, measured up by outbound tender volume minus inbound tender volume. And that's what you have right here, outbound tender volume and inbound tender volume. So this is showing a decrease in volatility. Let's see. So inbound volume is actually increasing while outbound volume is staying roughly the same. And it's gone down 30% over the last week. From here to here, the gap is smaller. So like I said, this is just a great view for a couple different reasons, but it's great to see those high highs, those low lows, to be able to make actionable decisions on volatility within any market. I like to sort it by market share. So those big markets that have volatility will create more of an impact than some of these smaller markets that you might not operate in. So this is one of my favorite widgets to view every day to kind of see where you can take advantage of the volatility in the market. If you guys have any questions, this kind of wrapped up Sonar 101 today. Please feel free to drop them in the Q&A tool in the bottom and I'll get them answered for you. Tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern time, we're going to do Sonar 201 with Donnie Gilbert, our market expert. And then on Thursday at 11 a.m., we'll have another market expert come in, do our 301, talk in depth about some of our indices that we have. So stay tuned. Join us tomorrow for 201. Like I said earlier, if there's any specific questions or needs or wanting to learn how to use this in your operation, please reach out. You can use the moderated chat function, the double bubble in the top right-hand corner, sonar support at freightwaves.com. Reach out to your customer success or sales rep. We'll be happy to help you. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Please leave your questions below and we will get to them. Thank you. All right, guys, we have no questions today. like I said, reach out to Sonar Support at freightwaves.com if you guys have any questions. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.